Okay, I'm going to try and make this a quick and dirty. Not too long, under 10 minutes, but over 5. You just saw the Wraith 19. I got it in last week, and I've put about 30 miles on it so far. I still have a lot more. It's a regular thing to take it for walks now, so that's not a big deal. The big deal is I'm having problems with this radio. Now, I cannot completely blame the radio. We live in a very high traffic area for so many frequencies, it's ridiculous. I don't want to blame the rig or the radio, but there's also other problems. As with my first 19 Wraith, it's the track width just isn't quite wide enough. It's too light and springy for the track width, so it needs to be widened a slight bit. I've not decided on new wheels and tires yet, but I've also looked at wider hexes. Team K&K does have I believe it's a 10 millimeter hex that should bring these out almost where I want it to. So I may not even spend that amount of money to get the wheels and tires. I may just get the widened hexes. I'm sorry to kind of crash you into this introduction to the Wraith 19. Right now I have my son Jamie out here. He's already frustrated the living bejesus out of me. I lost a 10-minute video because I just could not focus. And this is part of my whole deal is if I can't do this around family and I can't focus, then why do it? So this is kind of an exercise for me in not only, being able to talk, being able to articulate, but also to be able to communicate this thing and to exercise patience, because children are a large exercise in patience. Our oldest son right now is outside playing. If you see the old banners here, he's outside playing across the street, so I can hear him playing basketball with his cousin and their one of our neighbors. So they're good. My poor wife is off to the clinic to get checked up. She's still coughing and stuff, so she's getting that looked at. But to get back to the truck, I've had a lot of changes in the last few years. Just in the last year, just in the last 6 months, just in the last 3 months. And I'm trying to make some of these changes constant. I'm trying to establish a new baseline. It's called, making a new normal. If this is my new normal, this amount of output, I used to get kind of sick with this amount of output. I used to be able to push this much, and now I've built back up to it, and not only been kind of coerced internally into doing stuff better, but also externally. And there's a lot of other things that changed, and I'm not going to go into it here. But I'm just going to say that things are a lot better now, and I really want to kind of get back into where I started. Where I really got into the hobby was when I realized I could build one of these in 2011. And kind of looking on one of the forums, one of the big forums, I won't mention a name because of whatever. I don't want to start any fights. But they had plenty of guys doing this already. I mean, there was a lot of them looked at it, done it, didn't like it, liked it. Some of them who were rabid about it, and some of them who were just like, man, don't do it. It's just a waste of time. Go drive a truck, whatever. Everybody had their opinion, but I had to do it because when I finally thought of it and went looking and realized other people were doing it, I thought, well, let's just see if I can do it or not. So mine had a very similar setup. The battery at the time was in the back when it first started. But I mean, it was pretty much this ready to run minus the CMS, with the original Gen 1 style axles, the SEX10 axles. It was capable. I mean, it was a little springy. I had to put lighter springs in it. It was just basic stuff. But this was the basic truck. And what it turned into from there was something pretty amazing. You can always go look at the Instagram and kind of see the progression from the last few years. I wish I had started Instagram a few years earlier because a lot more would have been documented, but it's not. It's not, and I'm not going to worry about it. So there's just a quick background leading up to now. Again, you can go catch up on Instagram. It's a little bit more consistent there. But anyways, this rig, right now, I'm having trouble with the radio. And it's jumping, it's losing signal, it's having a few issues. And I don't blame the truck. I don't blame the rig. I know people who've had problems with Spectrum. Every time I used them, depending on how old it was, I would have a problem. Shh, please. And newer stuff. Every time I would get something newer, keep it updated, and never had a problem with it. So my issue is it's probably something, whether it's between my phone, Bluetooth, all the different amazing amount of traffic that's around here in this area. I'm not going to blame it. But not only that, but the performance of the stock electronics are that they were proven by the 100-mile honcho. They're sound. In other trucks, I mean that using similar setups, they're sound. They're efficient. They might not be the fastest, strongest, or the newest thing out there, but they're strong. They're solid. Each version has their quirks and issues. It is what it is. Honestly, I could probably run this ESC and motor until either of them dies, which is probably way after the 100, even the 200-mile mark. If you take care of that little sealed can motor properly, it could last a long time. You get kind of bored with it after a while, and you notice the degradation, but you know that's just how it is. I initially was going to go with a 12-turn from Holmes Hobby, the 550 can. And then I thought, that 13-turn Crawlmaster I had in the honcho was absolutely amazing. Efficient, great low end. I mean, again, just like the Creature, it had an even amount of attributes in like the 70% mark of just good, solid performance. For $50, I was in. And then I thought, I have this old system that's coming out of here. The Creatures needed an update. It loves to blast the parade down Main Street, down all the rocks on Main Street on the 4th of July. But it doesn't get used that much, and it's time consuming. It's heavy. You got to keep it. When you run it, you got to maintain it. You run it, you got to maintain it. I thought, I haven't had a power bump in this thing for a very long time. So we have an SW4 and an 1800 kV Holmes revolver. Again, it's not going to be running the long run, but if it does, I'm not going to expect that much less efficiency or performance or anything else out of it. In fact, I think my truck, I got to watch it because that revolver breaks stuff at will. I mean, it has a mind of its own. If you don't rein it in, it's going to break stuff. I like that idea for a change. It's been years and years since I've actually considered, that going back to running, 550 can short course motors on 3S in scale trail trucks. It's been a long time since I've considered even looking into power. This has the amount of power I'm looking for in a small, light package, affordable. I think I spent like $150 total. No, maybe 170 total on the whole setup with the BEC. I just got to get in here and solder it all up, put it in this truck. But again, the goal is to get from there to here. I'm going to put this 2700 kV Trailmaster and BLE Pro with a Castle BEC into this truck. I might have to do some lengthening of some wires or whatnot, but in this truck with 2200 milliamp batteries, I would get a few miles, maybe 3.5 miles if it wasn't too rough terrain or wasn't goosing it around. If you're really efficient with it, you can get that far on 2200. This thing is already running stock close to 7 miles on one of these 4200 milliamp 3S's. Stock. Okay. Not the greatest control, not the greatest wheel speed, not the greatest low end, but stock. That's a lot of mileage for not that big of a battery. That's amazing. So let's bump up the efficiency with this old setup, put it in here, put the new beefy setup that I would not trust in these stock axles into the Creature, and we're going to have a nice day. I do have that is a replacement servo that's going to go in there. It is the EcoPower WP120T. It's the waterproof. They're a little bit higher output version. It's only going to run 6 volts. But, again, it's going to go in this truck. It's not going to need to run high voltage, super high torque or anything else. So that's where I'm going for here. I'm kind of cheaping out. I might change my mind and do the wheels and tires. I have my good old Axial BFG crawler sitting there, ready to go. I just need wheels and foams. And I believe I will go with the Incision machetes, the plastic ones, because I do have aluminum hubs for those Incision aluminum wheels sitting around here somewhere. I could actually mount them on those plastic Incision if I feel a need. I've used them several times and never had problems with the hexes. If I want a little extra weight, which it really won't add that much weight, sure. But this thing needs to be just a hair wider on all corners. A little weight will not hurt I do not plan on weighing out the wheels or anything else, just wheels, tires, and foams, which should be, honestly, plenty of weight for this. Plenty, even with plastic wheels. It doesn't need a lot, it just needs a little bit. I don't want to affect the performance or durability of those axles without due cause. The BFG crawlers to me are great because they have that good middle of the road performance. They handle mud, they handle rocks, they handle wet, dry. They are long lasting. Once they break in, you kind of round the edges on the rocks. Man, they are an incredible tire. It's what I ran so long on the Scout that I rounded some out. I actually ended up breaking beads because I had them on there so long on that heavy little Scout. You know, here they are. Here's my second pair. So yeah, that's where I'm going. These are going to go on there. They might either get new wheels and tires. They might stay on there with some Team K&K wider hexes. I don't know. We'll see. But again, I'm going to tune down this ESC and motor a little bit so that it runs relative acceleration similar to what the stock is. I don't mind that acceleration. Maybe a little bit more low end, but you know, having a little bit more top end and consistency across the top. Plus, I'll be using the old MXV here. Again, I don't blame the radio. I don't blame the receiver that's in there. I blame the radio traffic, whatever frequency it is on. I might even try to, again, rebind it, even if I put that stuff in there. I've got to make sure it's going to work. So that's where I'm at. We actually ended up at 12 minutes, a little bit longer than I thought. I have to come back to you guys soon on this. It might even be a month. But I'm not going to tell you many bad things at all about it. And that's kind of cool. So, no, this is not an Axial commercial. I do not get stuff from them. I do not get stuff from them. I do not get stuff from them. You know, I work a lot with smaller companies. I work a lot with, you know, people who do stuff on their own. And I have a good time. You know, I don't need a large sponsorship. It's not like I have an high output channel or high output following. You know, it's just a matter of I like to do what I do. I'm kind of doing this for myself. It's not like I'm saying I'll piss off you guys. It's not that you're not important. It's just that I have my own thing going on, and this is kind of a good way to document, so I don't have to commit it all to memory. Because man, you start forgetting stuff, and I don't know. So that's what's going on. I've been doing helping some people out with a few things, and I'm really excited to do this. I was really not wanting to change this truck at all. I did not want to do anything to it. I wanted to run it the way it was. I wanted that feel of the Scout back from when I first built it and kind of get that back. But, you know, things changed and there's a reason for it. And I'm kind of glad. I'm going to stick with this, keep it in its form as much as possible, in the stock form. But just right now, I mean, we're going to do some different things, but not drastic. Again, we're going to tune down stuff so we're not breaking everything. I want this thing to last. I want it to be, because the creature was initially built as a platform for me to blast around the trails and not worry about having to catch up. If I fell behind in a rock garden, you know, half a stage behind my friends or people I'm shooting with or behind my own schedule, I could easily pick up this truck, put the battery in, go running, and not worry about much other than battery consumption. You know, again, 3 hours, a couple 3 hours, 3 miles, whatever it's going to get on that little battery is a while, but it's just not long enough. It's really not long enough. And plus, blasting this thing around on the rocks is fun too. So we have one of our new camera platforms, is what I'm going to call it. It's not going to really have a camera on it. It's just going to be me. When I have a camera on me, it's probably going to be my phone. That's just what it is for now. Really basic, real simple, you know, grassroots stuff. So, family's coming home. We're going to have dinner soon. Here's a little peek at the project under there. I'll get back to that one soon. It's half built, it's mostly built. It's ready to go. It was actually going to get the revolver, but we changed our mind. So this is what's going on. I got to get going. 15 minutes. That's a long video. I got to go.